The huge lesson, it sounds like, was have permission from people, both culturally and contractually, to sell their home.
Correct.
And have as many of those as possible,
Correct.
relationships.
Right.
And the buyers will come.
Correct.
How many agents get that wrong, you think?
Well, I think, and I had the same thing. I think back then I was chasing after the buyers. And I think buyers are great. And Loretta on the team, she likes to deal with buyers more than sellers. She has a knack to deal with buyers. She likes to look at more houses. Where I like to have the inventory, because I like to represent the seller. I like to understand what they're looking for. This is their baby. This is their biggest house, biggest asset most of the time. And they want to make sure they're giving it to you, or to me, to sell it. They're giving me like full reign to sell their baby. What are you going to do differently than everybody else? How are you going to sell my house? This is my biggest asset. I'm counting on this money to move on to the next big house or downsize or retire.
Wow.
There's a lot on your shoulders. I mean, car business is great. They buy the car, they lease the car 3 years in and out. They buy a ring, they buy a watch. It's not a big investment. To some it is, depending on what you're buying. But the house is it's huge. And I don't think I realized how big this asset was to somebody later in my career. I think initially it was just I wanted to sell. I wanted to sell the house, I wanted to get listings, I wanted to do this. I was all over the place. Then I started tasting money. Oh my God, then you're dating, then you're this, you're down, I was young.
Did you get sucked in a little bit?
Of course, and my dad always kind of brought me down, and that's where I give him tons of credit, because he always said, Joe, you're in the business right now, it's all commission. I never had, other than the title company, which I worked for about a year, I learned, and then I went on to his commission. So I had no salary coming in. I was paying rent here. I moved out of my parents' house. It was
this 2003?
This is like 2004. I put a deposit on a new construction townhouse in Buckingham that I built. And this is the beginning before the market started taking a turn when the market was blowing up. It was going crazy. So in return, my business was busy because, so my dad kept on saying to me, Joe, business is great now, but I've been in business through the 80s and 90s and 2000s.
Through the cycles.
Exactly. He's like, it's not always going to be up. He's like, you better make yourself a cushion, understand that this business is cyclical. It's up and down. So make sure you don't spend your money and have nothing to, So I always had him kind of tell me, Joe, take it easy, take it easy. I used to go vacation, dating, this, that, and the other. And then finally, and of course I would do things differently, more frugal with my money.
Well, I didn't listen at all to Barbara.
Right.
Did you listen 50% to Vlad?
I'd say 50%.
Because I feel like you really respect him. You have a beautiful relationship.
Him a lot, and he's my best friend. He is like my mentor. I talk, first thing I do in the morning is I call him on the way to the office. Sometimes, actually most of the time we meet for coffee, but now we got a little bit busier. He's traveling more. I'm busier, so we don't meet as often in the morning, but at least once or twice a week we meet for coffee at the Wawa, at the Starbucks, just to chat about shop, or if I can't meet with him, I at least have a 5-10 minute talk with him on the way to the office or on the way to my appointments, just to talk, just to, shoot the shit with my dad, which cool. I think is important. He's my man. So.
Now, and he's actively involved in the real estate business.
Oh yeah. He had just had his 70th birthday. We just celebrated his birthday in Aruba.
Yeah, I saw you went to a show. See Facebook.
Yes, I took him for his he loves classical, and I like classical as well.
Classical music. Who's his composer? Or
he has a few that he likes. He likes Rachmaninoff. He likes Mozart. He likes Beethoven. He likes Chopin.